Former First Lady Michelle Obama was in Georgia last night, speaking at a star-studded rally for her nonpartisan organization, When We All Vote. This event was focused on mobilizing young, first-time voters before early voting in Georgia ends on Friday. Mrs. Obama tailored her speech to the young people in the crowd.
So many folks, particularly our young people, are struggling to find their footing in this world, battling higher levels of stress, anxiety, loneliness, frustration. More folks feel disillusioned, helpless to affect change in their own lives. And that makes them increasingly more apathetic. And as a result, our priorities have gotten a little off whack. We got a lot of folks thirsty for likes from their followers, but uninterested in the needs of their communities. We got folks excited to vote on reality shows, but not willing to vote for their actual reality.
Joining us now, White House reporter at the Washington Post, Tyler Pager. Tyler, good to see you again. So that was a nonpartisan event, but we certainly know the Harris campaign is really trying to court young voters. Donald Trump, per polling, has made some inroads, particularly with young men. The Harris campaign trying to energize the young, the progressives. How do they feel 6 days ago that they're doing?
Yeah, I think we've seen that same sort of rhetoric from Vice President Harris as I've traveled with her around the country. She has added to her speech a direct appeal to young voters, trying to make it very clear to them why they need to turn out and vote. I think they're optimistic that the numbers are increasing. The enthusiasm is increasing, obviously. There were thousands of people on the National Mall at the Lips last night watching her speech. And that's why they're bringing these celebrities along, Maggie Rogers, the celebrities with Michelle Obama, Beyonce. These are all part of those efforts to try to mobilize and energize young voters. I think it's a little early to say what we know about the early vote numbers, but there's a clear overt push to try to get them out to the polls with just a few days left.
Yeah, and with the race so very tight. So we've been talking all morning about the last few days about Donald Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden, the comedian who referred to Puerto Rico as an island full of garbage. President Joe Biden weighed in last night and kind of kicked off a bit of a firestorm. He gave a Zoom call with Latino supporters. And in his remarks, the White House says he was talking about the comedian and that the supporter, the Donald Trump supporter, meaning the comedian, was garbage. His hateful rhetoric was garbage. Those on the right have suggested that no, that Biden was actually referring to all of Trump's supporters as garbage while he was weighing in and trying to talk about the remarks from the weekend. It's a bit of a tempest this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is, why the Harris campaign has been very cautious about how they have deployed the president as a surrogate. They feel that he is helpful in certain areas of the country, particularly maybe some of those white, more working class areas of Pennsylvania. We're seeing him slated to go to Scranton, his birthplace, over the weekend. But it is a risk that when they put him out, he has had some high-profile gaffes in New Hampshire when he said we should lock him up, and then very quickly corrected we should lock him up politically, talking about Donald Trump. It is something that the Harris campaign is navigating as they're trying to figure out how to deploy the president in the final days and try to avoid some of these gaffes. I think one of the concerns for the Harris campaign is that they felt pretty good about the vice president's speech last night, the closing argument she delivered on the Lips, the contrast she painted with Donald Trump. And now a lot of the conversation this morning, and I'm sure it will continue throughout the day, is what the president said, Joe Biden, and not what the vice president said. And just any sort of distraction at this point, taking Kamala Harris out of the spotlight, out of the message she's trying to drive home, is a concern for the Democrats as they close out this campaign.
Biden tweeted last night that, again, he was referring to the comedian, not all of Trump's supporters. But you're right, he's targeted events. I was traveling with him yesterday in Baltimore. He spoke to union workers. He did an event at an ice cream shop. He's spoken to union workers again on Philadelphia on Friday. I know you're on Air Force 2 today, traveling with the vice president. Give us a preview of where she's going.
Yeah, barnstorming the battleground states. We're starting the morning in Raleigh, North Carolina, then moving on to Pennsylvania, then concluding in Wisconsin and Madison again, as we were talking about trying to get to young voters. Right near the University of Wisconsin, a big rally with a lot of popular musicians, this sort of outdoor concert mobilization effort. So this is, she's really trying to hit all these battleground states and make these final appeals and get voters to the polls. I think a lot of this at this point is mobilization, is not necessarily, they're trying to persuade people, trying to get undecided people off the sidelines, but really it's about pushing people to the polls, getting them excited, getting them motivated, motivated to cast their ballots. I think that's one of the things they're fighting against, is this apathy among particularly young voters, communities of color, about trying to convince them not why the stakes matter, but also just to get to the polls to vote. And I think that's what we're going to see over the next few days with these big rallies, with celebrities, musicians, all part of that effort.
As some insiders say, choosing the ballot box over the couch. Get out there, actually vote. White House reporter at the Washington Post, Tyler Pager, thank you. Safe travels today. We appreciate it. And thanks to all of you for getting up way too early with us on this Wednesday morning. Morning Joe starts right now.